Vivian Robinson, who's my dear friend and the sister I wish I had had. I got it, okay. And two or three things I just want to say about that's happening here that's not on the books, not on the agenda, and that's Beth Turner has some copies of Black Mask. As a matter of fact, the stories are on Larry Leon Hamlin and Vivian Robinson, and she only really have a few issues of that magazine, so if you all want to get those, don't let her go home with them. Get them right away. And at the independent film market, I met the Nelson brothers, who has a film that I think all you all should go over and tie up and say, I want to see this film. How can I get it? Is it on video? And he'll tell you who to write to and how to get it. But at these conferences, you know, there was one in, well, a festival in North Carolina, one in Atlanta, one in Detroit, Black Theater Network, and then the Midwest Black Theater Alliance conference that I was at. And it's just an unbelievably fabulous opportunity for people to come together who haven't seen each other in years, and you hear people screaming and say, where are you now? And exchanging cards and telephone numbers, and 2 days later, they've lost them. You know? And it's amazing how valuable this kind of networking has become in the 80s and 90s. I think it's our way of communicating. In the old days, we had the drum, and then the radio, and now television, media, and the movies, but we're left out of that, of course. So the Black Theater is alive and well and in your cities. And as an advocate of that, I always tell people the easiest thing in the world to do, wherever you're located, is call the local Black Theater once a month and say, what are you doing? Don't look for them in the newspaper, because they can't compete with Batman Returns or Raiders of the Lost Ark. They cannot compete with those newspapers for the advertising. So really just take their numbers and put it on your refrigerator door and call them once a month and say, what are you doing? Or get a little subscription and they will send you a little notice, because they cannot afford the competitive nature of the business as it's become. Okay, Black Theater America Conference 1992. To me, it looks very successful, you know. I mean, I was at the most of the workshops, and representatives from Black theaters from across the country, Black theaters in universities, Blacks who are interested in the contribution of Black theater to the American theater. And I think, Earl, wouldn't you say it's successful?
Yes.
Okay. And, you know, so I just think Earl and Robert and Lisa and Duque and Garland, Professor Carey and everybody just did a wonderful job on this. So we've seen programmings, and you've heard discussions ranging from, and I'm just going to give you a laundry list: sexism and racism in the theater, producing, technical theater, children's theater, collaborations, Afrocentrism, writer-director relationship, poetry in theater, dance and choreographers in theater, the business of acting and casting, playwriting, funding, politics of theater, publishing, and there has been parties, 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 parties. So what does all this mean? You know, how can we grab hold to something here and go on? Okay, so this roundtable is going to call on you to come to the mic and talk about these things. But I just wanted to put out maybe 2 suggestions from up here before we do that. And this is a call to have this as an annual thing, you know? How can we do that? I think you can do that in 2 or 3 ways, which we really hate to do, but we know we must do it, you know? And that is simply, and it's the easiest of all, writing. Dean Mary Schmidt Campbell here at the Tisch School of the Arts, the Dean, writing Professor Carey, Dean of the School of, I think it's Health, Education, Nursing, and Arts Professionals. And let them know that, wow, this was wonderful. How can we have this as a sort of like a continuing annual kind of thing? And I think last of all, it should be some sort of way to impinge on New York University to get maybe 3 or 4 or 5 black students scholarships, either in the Tisch School or in other schools of the arts, even those who, I know Aduke is working on a PhD, and I think those are the kind of things that this kind of conference can ask for. And because young blacks who are working in this profession really need some sort of help, you know. I know when I taught here, and Beth may see the same thing, everyone says, oh, they will be available all day to do project A, B, C, D, and E. Those students are not available. They're working 3 or 4 jobs just to exist here. And if they let the university know it, they're out, you know. And, you know, it's like, and I think it's like this in most universities. So I think those scholarships are very important. And I also think some sort of, especially in New York, not New York, not only New York, around the country, those of us like, look over at Buddy Butler and Gertrude Jeanette, and those of us who really work in theaters need to take on 2 or 3 interns as mentors, you know, and mentor those young people so that, Buddy?
But I guess along the economic question, it gets very interesting for a lot of us who were in New York, not in New York. And we talked about a lot of things yesterday in terms of establishing our own identity, our own destiny, because it seems like economically sometimes the money's not even the question, especially if you deal with the Great White Way. If you want to be on Broadway, we take a show like 2 Trains Running, that they close, although there is a box office, that we are going to the theater. We are supporting the show, yet because, for I surmise, there's not a 3-month advance ticket sale, they still close the show. And I think economically, as a group of people, we have to redefine. I mean, I think Danny Newman's audience development model is outdated now.
Right.
For us, it's 20 years too old. We don't develop audiences that way anymore. We don't fundraise traditionally anymore. That we do spend money when we go out. As a matter of fact, we probably spend more when we decide to go out. But given the economic situation in this country and of African Americans in particular, we are not spending money 3 months from now.
We're spending
it today. Now today, we may all in this room decide, well, we're going to leave here and there's a play. We're all going to get up and go see it. And everybody here will spend $20, $25, $30, go eat good, buy top shelf liquor. I mean, we don't, when we go out, we go out.
Right.
But we don't go out 3 months in advance not knowing what that money base is going to be. So I'm not even sure how we protect those things. Again, like, I mean, 2 Trains just comes to mind because there's a show that they haven't even taken the pictures down yet. All it's been closed, they're selling out, but they close it because there's not a ticket advance sale. And that seems to be very strange, even economically, how people say, so I don't even know if it's about money. I mean, that's very interesting. Is it really about money? Is it interested about arts and concern? This is our theater, we can do what we want to, which makes me think we really have to do is support our own theater, but really look at a new way to develop an audience, to maintain an audience, look at how do we spend that entertainment dollar in lieu of all the other things we must do with that same dollar.
We want to know how many tickets we've sold 2 months from now. We want to know what the advance is, you know, because if it costs $150,000 a week just to stay open, and that $150,000 a week, folks, pays a lot of people above the table and a lot of people under the table. And a lot of people under the table says, well, if I can't get paid this week, no, I won't do what I'm doing under the table for you. A lot of people on top of the table say, well, I gotta have my check this week too. But they don't have anything to do necessarily with the product on Broadway. But this $150,000 a week, 160, 100, whatever, is what's called the break even. If they don't know how they're gonna do that 3 weeks from now or 3 months from now, then somebody is gonna lose some money if you don't buy a ticket. So that's why, I think you're right, buddy.
We have to support our own theaters at the same level we're willing to support someone else's theaters. I don't think we need to cut back on our ticket prices. If anything, we probably need the money that's better spent, but it needs to be spent within theaters that is going to be advantageous to our growth and our continual maintenance of our theater.
I think that's what Bill was talking about.
Right, not just show by show, but how can we guarantee? I mean, it sort of feeds into that mentoring thing, but I want to know there's going to be theater there for my children.
Right.
My name is Gordon Nelson. I basically agree with the point that he made just about developing the audiences. I think something has to be done to make it more of the thing to do, because as you know, the point he was making is that there are a lot of young black people who do have the money to spend on other things like expensive sneakers or going to see other shows and things, but it's just not considered really hip or in or current. So something that's going to be done in terms of promoting it, promoting black theater.
Well, I mean, you can speak from a unique experience. You had a play running at the National Black Theater probably longer than any other play in the theater's history. Right? How did you all reach out for those audience? Gordon wrote Legacies, folks, that was done at the National Black Theater.
A lot of those audiences came from groups. A lot of buses came in, reaching churches, sororities, fraternities, group homes, older audiences, just where black people congregate, really going and selling group sales, parties. There wasn't too much money for real publicity in terms of newspapers, things like that. We had maybe 1 or 2 ads. Basically, it was just word of mouth, too.
Also, this is just something I'm throwing out. A lot of times, isn't it, I think Kinshasa brought this up yesterday, that the work relates to the people, so they pass the word. If the work don't relate, if it's Eurocentric in its foundation and base, they really will say, oh, this is nice, but they don't leave the theater moving.
Also, Legacy, it kind of rode on the coattails of Mama Wasing. It was very gospel-based, so that, again, it became the thing to see, and there was the word of mouth, and it was something that church people could come, bring their audiences to, bring their families to, and have a good time.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Irvin. I'm the president of the Black Theater Network, and I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to interact with all of you here. I tried to meet as many people as I could. And the question was raised about us, so I feel, as the representative of that organization, the vice president is here, Dina Thomas, that we have to speak back to people who ask us questions. That's what we're here for, right? We are the Black Theater Network. You'll see these out there. We, at this point, have 3,000 mailing labels of names. 7,500, forgive me, the base goes ever upward. 7,500 names of individuals, organizations, producers, directors, actors, playwrights, puppeteers, storytellers, individuals involved in the act of making African-American theater across the United States. And that information is available to you, but like all the black institutions represented here, and I'm looking at Vivian Robinson and other folks that are present in the room, we need support also. And your membership is part of what goes into that. I see heads nodding. People know that there is a directory, that there is no charge to have yourself listed in the directory. If you are an individual who's involved in the act of making black theater and you want other people to know you're out there, if you will send us who you are and what it is you do, you will be included in that book. We would like your support. We would love for you to become a member. And then we can begin to move forward on some of these questions that are being raised. So that's the primary purpose of the network, is to network people, and so we need to support that organization as well. I think it's also important to remember that when we have opportunities to get together, that we can't always expect an answer on every one of these occasions, and it's valid that we raise these questions, and it's also perhaps sometimes even more valid that we acknowledge that there is a problem, because working where we tend to work and the isolation that most of us tend to work in, we are inclined to believe that we're suffering under some kind of madness, and that the things that we're suffering under are our own delusions, and that there are not people who share that with us. And that's very important as well. So thank you for all being here, and I look forward to receiving your membership. And if you have questions, I'll be around for a while to answer them.
Okay, because of this lack of information, this lack of communication, from having attended other conferences, and it covers a lot of other areas, but there are certain areas that are sort of like missing. And also a networking system in New York. It's sort of like a different kind of networking system in Winston-Salem or Atlanta or Detroit. This is Dean Pat Carey, who I've been knowing for 20 years.
I really am delighted to see my friend Woody King. We have known each other for 100 years. I was just a child then. But on behalf of New York University, I am absolutely thrilled to welcome you again. We are just so honored to be a co-host for this particular conference. We've come a long way, haven't we, Woody?
Yes.
So just have a good time. This is a historical occasion, and so in year 2000, our children will be reading about this very weekend. So have a good time, and welcome again.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mary Umolu from Performing Arts at Medgar Evers College, the City University of New York. And this has been a delightfully refreshing and breezy experience for me. Very, very exhilarating. And I'm proud of all that you've done on this occasion.
Okay. And I really have to get this lady here. No, I'm sorry. It's Tundi. Tundi is next. And then this lady here. And we must, it's time to go, right? Okay. Because I have to leave at 10:45.
Woody said he needed to go get his 501c3, pay the $275, start his own organization. Other thing is about space, because National Black Theater owns their own space, so we get a lot of people come up talking about we want to do production, so forth. I want to let you know there is a wealth of space in New York City. Organizations have theaters in their buildings that are just laying there dying. I'll give you one in case. Covenant House has a beautiful theater that just lays there. There are corporations in the city that have their own theaters. They usually don't do anything except for big events. They are available. Our churches have not maybe the most spectacular spaces on the planet, but you will be surprised at the level of theaters that they have in them.
Okay, we didn't necessarily make an order in terms of the presentation, but I think what I'll do is turn it over to you, Dr. Taylor. Yeah, me? Yep, you.
Okay.
And then you could take it from there and make your presentation and in turn, okay?
We heard that, Larry.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So do Larry first?
Let's do Larry first.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he's doing it.
First of all, Dr. Robert Taylor, let me preempt because we do have a flight. First of all, I want to bring up a very important person for us. We had on him long-winded. Everybody wants to preach and testify at church this morning, but we have some work to do. Larry Leon Hamlin. Yes. Give the brother some. Give him some. Give him some. Larry Leon Hamlin, producer and director of the North Carolina Black Repertory Theater in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the leading force, and is really the new kid on the block nationally. It was his dream and his vision in 1985 when I sat getting around a winter storm in his house, and he told me of this vision to bring the family together, to bring us all. And I said, Larry, I have no idea how you're going to do it. We're totally disconnected. I don't know how I got to this town. He and my dog, we're alone in this unheated van. There's a snowstorm, but I'm going home. You call me. 1989, 4 years later, we convened. And Maya Angelou, co-chair, brought Oprah Winfrey and August Wilson, and we were up and running. 1991, 30,000 people returned to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and if you were not there, you heard about it. And because of his work, we are here. Duke Aramu and I and members of the committee returned to New York with his energy and said, we cannot wait 2 years to go back to Winston-Salem. We must reconvene the family here. And I'm saying to you, we owe you a debt of gratitude, brother, for what you have done. Thank you very much.
I want to say thank you all for coming. I've learned an awful lot from this conference. It's the first one I've ever tried to put together with the team here behind me. I just want to say that I'm leaving my $20 in for next time. Okay. I know we've been here for a long time this morning, and thank you everyone for being so patient. I just want to hand over to Aduke Aramu now.
This is very important. We must salute our people while they are alive. Stand up for Vivian Robinson, and let's give her the love that she has given us for years.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to this wonderful committee.
So I'd like to bring this young actress who is a mover and shaker among us to the stage, Chandra Wilson.
All the folks, the community is still back there saying, girl, go ahead, you know, go do what you have to do and help, you know, the rest of us keep going forward and keep, you know, aspiring to higher things. And I just really appreciate this and am very thankful.
Recently received the Nobel Prize. It's to Derek Walcott, the wonderful playwright and poet.
Wonderful award. Derek is exhausted, and he asked me, I'm just so excited about, well, I know you're disappointed, but he is exhausted. He has even been excused from his classes up at Boston University because he's just been besieged with offers, and invitations. It is the opinion of the sponsoring committee of the conference that you be recognized for the great achievement of your life's work and contribution to the world of literature and the performing arts. Again, our deepest thanks to you and best wishes in all of your current and future endeavors. And can we have your autograph? In peace and pursuit, Garland Lee Thompson, founder, executive director, Frank Sever, Writers Workshop, on behalf of the conference here at NYU.
The committee, we have Aduke Aramu, Dr. Robert Taylor, that is the name, Taylor, yes, and Earl S. Davis. And if you're not aware of the Institute of African American Studies, there's a wake-up call on this campus now. And of course, Lisa Renee Whitfield, Tish, alumni, and main spark plug. We have all this youth and power and us old guys that keep us in line. We appreciate that. They keep us on our toes. They keep us fighting and struggling. They said we must recognize the youth. We must make sure that the old connects with the new. We have work to do. We have to get ourselves together. We cannot sit and talk anymore. As Lloyd Richards say, I'm tired of talk. I'm tired of conferences. Let's do. Let's get this work moving. We want to see new work. We're bored to tears. We want to see new concepts, new collaborations. Let's move. We want to get the Graham Browns back uptown to work with us occasionally. We want to make sure they're working with us. We don't want to lose them. So with this young, remember now, we call them the BTIA5. We are dangerous now. And now, you got to watch our back, because they're trying to take us off. There are assassination plots against each and every one of us. We must have your protection. They can't move on us if you're with us. You have to be with us. So in any case, we have Earl, Rob, let's sit. Let's everybody stand up and join hands together. Join hands with your friend next to you. Everybody grab a hand, grab a hand. We need your leadership, elders. We need you to tell us show us, as the protectors and the ancestors did in the park on Friday, understand they are with us, they applaud us. The Roger Furmans are here, the Larry Neals are with us, each and every one of us, all the way to Langston Hughes and company. Let's stick together. Praise be all to power. Please go. Let's have a wonderful day.